Mia had always dreamed of going on a cruise, and now, for her 25th birthday, she was finally here. The ocean's serenity was a floating paradise. Sun-kissed decks, endless blue waves, and the thrill of adventure. She stood on her private balcony, sipping a cocktail, letting the salty breeze kiss her skin. And that's when she saw him. A man on the next balcony over, cabin 606. He wore an old-fashioned white suit, perfectly pressed, his dark hair slicked back. When their eyes met, he smiled. Later that night, at the ship's jazz lounge, she saw him again. His name was Elias. There was something timeless about him. The way he spoke, the way he moved, it was like he belonged to another era. They danced, they laughed, and just before they parted, he leaned in and whispered, "I hope we meet again before the end." The next morning, Elias was nowhere to be found. Mia asked the bartender, the front desk, a steward. No one remembered him. And then, a crew member hesitated before saying, "Cabin 606 has been empty for years." Mia didn't believe it. She went to check for herself. The door to 606 was slightly open. Inside, the air was stale. Dust clung to the furniture like a forgotten tomb. On the desk, a notebook, and written on the cover, her name. She flipped through the pages. Every entry was about her life, her past, things no one should know. And on the very last page, "Mia will find out the truth tomorrow, before the ship reaches the deep." She ran to reception, demanding answers. An old crew member pulled her aside. His face was pale. Elias Dorn was a passenger on this ship 20 years ago. He fell in love with a woman, but she vanished before the final night. The next morning, Elias was found dead in cabin 606. His lungs were filled with water, but the room was dry. Mia's blood turned to ice. Had she met a ghost? Or worse, was she the woman he was waiting for? That night, she locked her door. But at midnight, "Mia, it's me." Her breath hitched. The door handle turned. And then, he was there. Elias, standing in the doorway. Water dripped from his suit. His once warm eyes now glowed in eerie blue. "You came back for me, finally." She stumbled back. The room grew freezing. The walls dripped with seawater. Something unseen was pulling her forward, toward him. "I'm not her," she screamed. "Elias, let me go." For a moment, his face twisted with sorrow. Then, he was gone. The next morning, the cruise docked. Mia stepped onto solid ground, shaken but alive. She looked back at the ship, and there on the balcony of cabin 606 stood Elias, watching her. And in the pages of the notebook, fresh ink appeared. "I'll see you again on another sea."